please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome back to a Megon 2 Electric Boogaloo. Today we're going to be looking at a video from Tess Holliday, who is celebrating a monumentous occasion for somebody of Tess Holliday's caliber. If you don't pay attention to who she is, I've covered her on the main channel a number of times because she's amusing. She has taken her relevancy, dwindling, and applied it more notably now to TikTok, where she provides updates, talks about her eating disorders, and tries her best to be taken super serially and responding to anyone that critiques her, criticizes her, because I need to deflect like a pro and be seen doing it on TikTok, which in turn makes her look like every single TikToker on the planet. She believes that she is an avatar for discussing eating disorders, believing that her eating disorder is remotely comparable to what the eating disorder she believes she has actually is. I will link one or two videos I've done in the past on Tess Holliday down below if you're at all interested in giving them a watch. Otherwise, let's give this one a watch and see what happens.
Hey y'all, I'm at the airport and I'm still fully processing that I spoke at the UN yesterday.
What you're about to hear from Tess Holliday is her speaking as if this is the greatest moment of her life, something to be proud of, but in reality, on the face of it, certainly when you look at the person who is speaking about the subject she's about to tell you about, it doesn't come across as the right person for the job. But you know what? I don't want to give away too many spoilers, so we should just dive back in.
And it was the first time that they have talked about eating disorders inside the walls of the UN, and I think I've cried so many times just thinking about that moment.
I don't know why. The UN is not taken seriously by anyone. No one actually cares when someone speaks at the UN about any issue because they don't resolve any issue. What could you expect them to do? Do you believe it means that somebody's now starting to take this seriously? That a 400+ pound woman is talking about eating disorders? Considering a large number of the members of the UN come from nations that are impoverished, you appear to be the avatar of westernized interpretation of eating disorders, as in binge eating. Or, you know, to give it its less harsh name, or you can eat buffetosis.
I'm wearing Anna Nicole Smith today, you know, our queen.
I might be too English for this. I don't know what that means. Is she the queen of eating disorders? Did she write your speech for you? Have you been using that shirt to wipe the sweat or the tears from your eyes? So, essentially using her cleavage. I have many more questions and they're going to get increasingly more strange, so perhaps we'll continue with your video.
And, you know, Elisa Donovan, who's Amber from Clueless, the reason I'm a redhead, moderated the panel.
Who? Am I now to learn that there are more than one people at this panel? Do I have to go find an article with pictures of you and your panel talking? Okay, so I googled Tess Holliday UN speech. Apparently Google gave me sod all. I also went to the UN's Twitter account and again found sod all. Lots of tweets promoting the concept of diversity is a strength, not a threat. Brought to you by Blacked.
She also has suffered with an ED in the past. And
compared to yourself, that is certainly believable. Elisa Donovan is quite the slim individual, featured heavily on a, I believe, popular television show. You have always been quite large, you've always been quite against misogyny, quite against the patriarchy, quite against toxic masculinity, and beauty standards. But since you set rather difficult beauty standards in body positivity form, and those beauty standards are akin to that of someone slapping a puddle of mud, one can't be convinced that beauty is subjective any longer.
I just kept thinking, what is my life?
A parody? A meme? One where you are, on occasion, trotted out to use because of your woke clout. I'm going to use that term carefully though, not flippantly, but your name carries enough gravitas because you get a lot of backlash from, let's say, casual people. Therefore, you must be championed and you become a great beacon for raising awareness to something. It's just a shame that because of who you are, the awareness you raise towards the issue you are speaking on makes the issue itself vanish in favor of, yes, but she says she has an eating disorder and I just want to go her der. By all means, posit your theory in the comments down below how many meals she totally didn't skip to do this catwalk.
I'm like this trailer trash from Mississippi sitting on this panel next to Harvard professors.
I'll be honest with you here, Tess. Even Harvard professors, compared to us English, are white trailer trash. Hardly credible sources, hardly credible professionals, and none of us give a damn what they think. Why? Because the English are better.
And talking about how we need to do better and provide better healthcare and mental health resources.
Oddly enough, this is something I can fully agree on. Mental health resources, health care, of course. However, how such systems are implemented in those individual countries is not governed by the UN. It can't be dictated by them, or people would leave. You cannot have one overruling government on an entire planet. And they certainly wouldn't get it right, because so many different economies, countries, cultures, societies as a whole wouldn't want that. They have very different interpretations based on their societal and cultural norms and practices. But I get the feeling this is more from an American lens. Also, I really want to latch onto the fact that there is nothing talking about this in the news. I wonder why.
And how we need to include fat people and people of color and trans folks in the conversation with eating disorders. And
Hold up. Are you trying to present fat people as you yourself have identified them, as if they are a marginalized group within society? Those with gender dysphoria, those who do not get to choose the color of their skin, with those that choose to eat all the pies. One of these three has a choice of their future, their fate, their body, their health. They have that choice. Not all people that are overweight, not all people that are obese, not all people that are super morbidly obese have an eating disorder like bulimia or anorexia like you claim you had, which fascinates everyone for a whole plethora of reasons. Again, drawing attention away from the discussion because of what you claim you had. So do tell me, perhaps explain in some reasonable form with citations to back your claims up. How can you compare, falsely, equate perhaps, those that are ethnic minority, in your country, in my country, many other countries in fact, to those that have gender dysphoria, and those two to those that are overweight, who choose to be, for the majority?
God, I feel grateful.
I've heard about these UN discussions in the past where they had these panels, and people who would speak about it as if it was the greatest achievement they could ever have, accomplish, strive for. Yeah, like an Xbox achievement, or getting the Leroy Jenkins achievement on World of Warcraft. The problem is, no one's talking about it. So what is it really beyond affirmation? A boost to your confidence? Wrong word, it's actually ego, narcissism, selfishness. Deprive someone of the opportunity to speak on an issue that they should be the authority on, not the person who claims to be, who is quite literally the avatar of a lie.
I will post more in my speech, or my time talking tomorrow.
At time of recording, it has not been posted to her TikTok, but I did see a video she had posted before this one talking about education levels, which we'll get to in a moment. It's always worth adding additional context when it is provided or available.
I'm just processing all of it, and I'm so proud of myself, and I was so proud to be asked to be a part of it, and I love you guys, and yeah, I'll update you guys more soon.
Tess Hollidays' TikTok is a fascinating viewing because she spends a lot of time arguing about atypical anorexia in larger people, interviews she has given, because she still does those from time to time, and responding to people who criticize her for the crap she comes out with. It's hardly a surprise that Tess Holliday does any of that, given the fact that, well, let's face it here, she is just one massive caricature, a parody of a person. Now, it is worth now inserting that first video so you have additional context of what Tess said before she spoke at the UN.
Never let anybody tell you what you are capable of and not capable of, because I was just going through old photos of myself, and I found a photo of me from my high school graduation party, but my family didn't really throw me a graduation party because they said I didn't graduate. I actually just dropped out of school, so it wasn't the same thing.
I can agree with the majority of the sentiment on this, that you were a high school dropout. Jokes aside, I can agree with the idea of don't let anyone tell you what you can and can't be. If you want to be something that involves qualifications in academia, you can damn well be it. If you want to be like Tess Holliday, just drop out of high school. And if you want to give a speech at the UN, apparently you can BS your way through anything if you have the right characteristics. An IQ less than or equal to 1 is acceptable. Believing yourself an authority because you WebMD'd your answers. Correct. Believing you can use your own victim points as a shield, your own oppression as a shield, your own body as a shield. Check. Otherwise, if you don't want to be like Tess Holliday, but you do want to drop out of school anyway, practice the following in a mirror. Would you like fries with that?